Is in front of their home crowd here, the Orange Army, and we've got Ambati Raidu and Varun Aaron with us in studios here on Amul Cricket Live. Now, there were always questions surrounding chase when it comes to Sunrisers Hyderabad, make them do something they're not comfortable doing. And
in a tournament of 14 games, you are going to find players who are going to come in and out of form, bowlers are going to come in and out of form, batsmen are going to come in and out of form. It's just the way the nature of that break did him good, because that gave him that little extra time to work on stuff. Generally, when you're just going match to match, it's difficult for you.
So it's a great thing going into the playoffs that you chase a big total and get into Ahmedabad to play the qualifier. So I think it's great.
Wait, we have to wait for the second game also. Wait. To see if it's the qualifier or the eliminator. Wait, Rajasthan Royals are waiting for that one. But look, one of the other significant factors I think for them was Sendrik Klaasen, and you heard Klaasen towards the end there because there was a sudden loss of form just as
good, and that's great news for the Sunrisers.
The mental break is so crucial at some point. One more game remains in the league. Royals, considering that they've already managed to qualify for the playoffs. The way that they started the season, they've always been on top. They've been one of the most balanced sides, and that's the reason why they're through. But for Sunrisers Hyderabad, who await the result of this game, let's go over now for the presentation ceremony in Hyderabad.
A huge part of their success with Narayan up top, and when you suddenly remove somebody who's been like one of the bigger success stories of yours, it's a big gap to fill. So you don't want to go into a playoff game not knowing how somebody is going to go. So today is a really important game for them in actually getting Gurbaz in, giving him a game before they get into the playoffs. So let's not discount the importance of any game in this IPL, I would say.
No, we know that every single game has counted for moments, whether it came down to the points or just the... Yes. At the start of the season, because of the way that they were batting, you were almost kind of eclipsing the fact that the bowling, the economy rates for Sunrisers bowlers were pretty high. And there was a situation, a little passage before Bhuvi found the kind of form he had and Natarajan came back into the party, that Pat Cummins was bringing himself in difficult situations. We couldn't find that pattern to when he's going to bring himself on. But he would take the tough overs. He would take those moments. Does that inspire you when you're a fielding unit?
Of course. I mean, as a bowling unit, I don't even think is a pass score. So on surfaces like that, and as a bowling unit, when you have to bowl well, you have to really stick to the basics and just do what you know how to do, and not just go by the numbers or the stats or looking at other games and surfaces and think that, I need to bowl at 140 or...
Role clarity has been very evident for Sunrisers Hyderabad. Their opposition today, it's not often you find a team, Varun, that's finished at the bottom of the table and yet radiates so much positivity and happiness as Punjab Kings have. In this entire season, they've given us some very exciting moments. They've given us some very close moments. They've lost some significant players. They had a captaincy change in the middle. This is the third player that's captained them this season. So it's been a season that you could take away saying that, look, it's turmoil, it's at the end of the table, and yet their attitude doesn't seem to reflect that.
And before that, I just hope that he retains his sweep.
Money on them, you're just never going to end up on the winning side in a competition like the IPL. But hats off to all the young Indian guys in the Punjab unit. It was really fun to watch them.
And also, Varun, if you look at it, we as CS coming or becoming successful would be, I think, would be the way to go in terms of IPL. That's where we see a lot of teams change players, and I don't think that should be done. You need to retain a side for about 3 or 4 years to be successful.
Raidu, Punjab has been one of the teams that have always let players go and usually retain maybe just one ahead of the auction. So the tough question for you is that if you're allowed to retain those 4, who would you do? Because Shikhar was your captain, then it became Sam. Is there still a place for a player like Shikhar Dhawan? You've got Shashank, you've got Ashutosh, you've got Rabada, you've got Arshdeep. I mean, so how do you retain that?
Harshal.
So I think if you're allowed to retain 4 players, ideally it would be your 2 batsmen and 2 really key bowlers that you would like to retain.
A tough question, good job, because it's not easy to essentially do that. But if you finish at the bottom of the table, you're just above Mumbai Indians who finished at the bottom. It's a tough one, and you played for the franchise before, so you understand that at times things have been a little inconsistent in terms of picking teams for selection. But there seems to be a very different energy around the team this time.
I mean, look,
Well, speaking about great attitude, that's a great segue because the way that Rajasthan Royals started this season, everything seemed settled. They had the most balanced side on paper. It was reflecting on the points table. They were steadily onto the top until the wheels just kind of started coming off. And they play a crucial game right now because they have to get those 2 points to go above Sunrisers Hyderabad to finish in what would be World Cup. But the onus on Sanju Samson, Varun, the batter, to come good and also take that with Jos Buttler not in the side, with Yashasvi Jaiswal, openly struggling, not having the kind of start that he'd wanted to see. How crucial is this game, or rather this passage of play, for Sanju himself?
It is very, very crucial. Sanju is a very important part of their batting lineup, and it's technically sound. They don't have to really bludgeon the ball. They can trust their technique, especially for the first 10 balls. Just trust your technique, get those boundaries with pure technique, and then start to go big. But Jaiswal, immediately after he gets 1-4, he just thinks he's going to smash every bowler to pulp, and that's what's getting him out. I feel he's overhitting the ball slightly. But if Sanju Samson and Jaiswal and Riyan Parag bat till the end, that's what they want, especially because the middle order is not firing. If Hetmyer comes in, then it might be less of a headache, but at the moment even Hetmyer is out.
Therein lies a challenge because it's Riyan Parag and Sanju Samson who's got more than 500 runs this season. They're the two that have come together, have those sort of partnerships. But who handles the responsibility in the power play and at the finishing at the moment with the current team that you have?
I think more than all these stats and the technicalities around the game, I think mentally they need to wake up. Somebody needs to just shake them and say, boss.
So how does it happen if you're not there?
If they haven't woken up now, then they're never going to wake up.
I'm serious. And they need to really wake up.
Absolutely.
And so you need to wake up, you need to be on your toes, and mentally you need to be ready. Even Jaiswal, all those techniques can take a back seat. You just need to watch the ball, you need to play for 6 overs, have the responsibility, take the team through. So this is that kind of a time, and RR needs to wake up. Especially if they can't do it now, next year nobody is going to give them an inch again.
Let's send them some coffee. They might just wake up.
Your coffee?
I don't know if coffee can wake them up, but
moves from Rajasthan.
Yeah,
is that what you're trying to say?
And something to just say that, okay, we mean business, we are here to play, and put their best foot forward, like RCB have done last night. You could see their body language, and you see RR's body language. It's so contrasting. So I feel it's just time. Somebody wake them up.
Okay,
but they have
lost
some very important parts, right? They've lost.
It doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter. Still you have 11 people wearing a jersey.
I'm sure they know that. If they don't, let's just remind them of the fact that this is where you stand on the points table right now, and that's why it matters so much, because here you are fighting for an opportunity.